Hello guys, welcome back to That Data Nerd. Today I'll be doing another medium seat Leetcode question. This has been asked by many companies before, especially Amazon has asked it 3 times in the last 3 months. Google, Meesho and Bloomberg has asked it. Coin, DCX, Meta, Microsoft, Capgemini and Zomato have also asked it. Um, so this question is exchange seats. They're given one table called seat, which has two columns, ID and student. We have to write a solution to swap the seat ID of every two consecutive students. If the number of students is odd, the ID of the last student is not swapped. Seat, this is the five rows. Abbott, Doris, Emerson, Green, and James. Doris and Abbott got swapped, so Doris and Abbott got swapped. Green and Emerson got swapped, so Green and Emerson got swapped. And since it is given that ID, if it is odd, then the last student is not swapped, so James is James. Um, we can basically go ahead and write our to find here. To find is new IDs and students against those IDs after being swapped. We are given a table, one table with 5 columns, sorry, 2 columns, ID and student. Our pseudocode is first step, we'll create a CTE such that next we'll bring the ID student previous ID using lag and the next ID using lead. Second step, once we check the IDs, once we check if the IDs are even or odd and the next student is not null, then we give it to next student. If the ID is even, if the ID is odd, and if the ID is even and the previous student is not null, then we give it to previous student. Else we report ID. We bring student as is from the CD. So we have this with CD as select from seat ID student lead ID 1 over order by ID as next ID lag ID 1 over order by ID as prev ID. So now let's just see what is happening. Select star from CTE. Of course the answer is wrong because it's not like what we expected, but so now ID is odd, next ID is not null, so we give this to then we give it to Doris, right? Then we say Doris is the number one. Then we say Doris is the number one. Since the ID is 2 and the priv is not null, then we say it is Abbott. Similarly, this will go to Greaves and this will go to Emerson because of the prev. If the ID is for here, the ID is odd and the next is null. If the next is null, then we say ID as is. So James will stay James. Now if I say where, sorry, let me write a case when case when ID %2 equals 0, then equals 1, then next student next ID and next ID is not null, then next ID. When ID %2 equals 0 and prev ID is not null, then prev ID, else ID, end as ID, comma student. So here we have been we have done the things correctly, but if you see let's just call it a new ID, right? So now let me bring in ID, new ID and student just to show you what is happening. See, the original ID for Abbott was 1, but because 1%2 equals 1 and next ID is not null, then next ID, so we've given it let me just bring in everything. So next ID also and prev ID also. Next so 1%2 is equal to 1 and next ID is not null, so this will go to Doris now and not Abbott, right? So 1 and Doris will come. 2, so the new ID will become 2 for this. If the original ID was 2, 2% is 0, 0 and prev ID is not null, prev ID is 1, then this will go to 1, which is Abbott. Similar thing will happen for Emerson and Greaves. Old IDs were 3 and 4 respectively, new IDs will be 4 and 3. 5 will stay as 5 because there is, even though it is odd, the next ID is null, so James will stay as James. Once I have done that, what I can do right now, the order of IDs is 2 1 4 3 5, while we want it as 1 2 3 4 5, so I can go ahead and add a order by new ID. Once I have done that, 1 2 3 4 5 will come and Doris, Abbott, Green, Emerson, James will come. Now I can drop all of the old columns that were not needed. One, two, three, four, five, and Doris is coming correctly, but now I can call it as new ID. Instead of new ID, I can call it as ID. Order by new ID. This is the correct answer. So this is the way to solve this question. We will use a lag and a lead here. Um, that would make it pretty much straightforward. If you like this like this explanation for this question, please feel free to drop a like button or hit that subscribe button. If you have any doubts, please feel free to ask me in the comments. Thank you.